Chris, just in the games, in season, most important moment to get it, such a complete effort from your guys. Just what did you think as you digest a little bit of that here?
Yeah, I mean, defense was phenomenal. We executed everything we talked about doing. I thought Nikhil did a great job setting the tone on Shea. You know, he's a really tough cover, but we were closing all the spaces around him, and we did a good job of just kind of like never letting him really get into a rhythm other than in that third. And then I thought offensively, we also did a good job. Played pretty intelligent offense. It was nice not to give back a lead, which we've done quite a bit. But yeah, the guys were super locked in, and they knew what it was going to take to win this game, and they went out and did it.
Carl said this morning that you wanted to exploit the mismatches that you had out there to go big the way that you did and see both him and Rudy come through. That's the vision really for what you guys can do at your best.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they did a good job of, Kyle in there too, playing big to big a lot, figuring out their doubles, pounding them on the glass, and just kind of throwing some lobs over top. But really, the guards did a really good job of like driving and making the right pass most of the night. Ant was really good, aggressive, turning corners, putting the defense on their heels where they had to commit, and kind of open up the game offensively with a lot of his kickouts early. And Mike is just a stud, just super smart out there, and he's made all the right plays.
Obviously, Nikhil in the starting lineup was huge. Like, how did you come to the decision, and then just like, what did you see from him all night? And
quite honestly, it was something that Tim Conley said, "Hey, here's a wild one. What do you think?" It's like, makes a lot of sense. I hadn't even really started thinking a lot about that type of stuff. Just with his length, his defensive prowess, like he obviously has corporate knowledge, and that allowed us to lengthen our rotation as well. I mean, not that we did, but if we wanted to, and it kept Ant out of early foul trouble. We thought Ant would move over and guard him more, but then Nikhil did such a wonderful job. And then the zone kind of finished it off.
Is that some of the best offense you've seen this year with like Carl, Rudy, everybody kind of in there in the starting five?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously we had size advantages, so it made it easy kind of to find some of that. But I thought we spaced well. I thought we spaced better than we had done with some of those lineups, particularly those two big lineups. Cat did a really good job of paying attention to his spacing. Did a good job of making the simple play when he was doubled. He did a good job of being aggressive, at the right times, and like he kind of in the third quarter got those and ones on those drives and got a couple big putbacks, and so yeah, I think it could be a little bit of a blueprint, but every defense you play is a little different, so.
This looked like one of the more complete 48-minute showings tonight. Is it kind of the ultimate litmus test for this team now to try to carry that forward into a 7-game series and bring it again and again and again?
Yeah, absolutely. Every series, takes on a life of its own. We're going to have to find ways to get more guys into our rotation. But we certainly went with who we felt was going to get it done tonight. But yeah, we're going to need some guys to step up. Try to add to what we're doing.
You have obviously been around Nikhil for a little bit longer than a lot of guys. How have you seen him grow just from when you first had him until now to be able to have an assignment like this in such a game? Yeah,
I'm really proud of and happy for him to come out and be able to play a game like this. I think, someone said, I think he's had like 5 coaches in his career so far, something like that. And it's always tough for a young guy. You come into the league with a vision of who you are and how you want to play and make your mark on the league, and it doesn't always unfold for you like that, certainly not right away. I think he's at peace with now who he is as a player. He plays to his strengths a lot more. He doesn't try to do too much, which he did as a young player just because he was so eager. And his defense, as you saw tonight, has grown. I thought, like most young players, when we had him as a rookie, he was a defensive liability. Game was moving fast. He was trying to catch up, but he's really added a defensive intelligence and competitiveness to his game, and that is really going to carry him a long way because he's a smart player. You saw he made a few timely cuts, finished well. took good shots, gives us another handler out there. Yeah, I'm just really, really pleased for him. So.
Chris, you've talked throughout this season about the identity of this team kind of evolving over the course of the season. How would you describe what the identity of the team is today?
Well, we thought we were getting there when we had when Nas went down. We talk a lot about if we want to be a big team, we got to do the things that big teams do. We got to be physical around the paint. We got to get the offensive glass. We got to try to punish them down inside when they go smaller. I think we're doing a better job of that. We're doing a better job of that. I think we still have things to figure out. And like I said, every defense is a bit different. But guys like Ant and Kyle in particular, those guys they've been playing in like various evolutions of our team. Like, so the rhythm for them has changed in time and time again. But they've, really, really pleased with how Ant kind of keeps just figuring it out alongside of it too. So.
Chris, you called Conley a stud.
Yeah.
What does his intelligence and just kind of calmness out there do for everybody else?
Yeah, I mean, it does a lot for me. I know that. It's just that type. It's that composure. It's you can give him the ball. You're going to get into something. You're going to get a good decision. His aggressiveness to score the ball has been exactly what we need. His ability to draw fouls and create. He's been in so many games. I was just, I was thinking, I guess today or yesterday, I was like, wow, what a shame if we weren't able to make the playoffs. I mean, I think Mike's probably been in the playoffs almost every year in his career. And Rudy for a long, long time too. So, but that works both ways. He's also helped us deliver this opportunity too.
Can you just talk about the difficulty of such a quick turnaround now? You got to go play in 2 days in Denver. What's the key to kind of getting the team to get past this and get ready for the next one? And maybe some initial thoughts on the matchup in this that's coming up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've already started working on Denver as you do. From a coaching staff, you prepare for these things. Multiple teams, you just never know how it's going to work out. We'll start imparting that to the team tomorrow. Certainly let them know, what the highlights are. I don't think we can overcomplicate anything right now. And we just, be ready to go and try to get back physically. One advantage I think of playing in these games is that you're pretty battle ready. You're pretty battle ready. So I think our competitive edge will be there for sure. So.
You talked about different evolutions this team has gone through the various changes. What types of evolution have happened to get Cat integrated as well as he has been on defense coming back?
I think some of it's finding the right matchup. I think his activity's been really, really good. He's I think has a better understanding. We have a better understanding of like the things we want him to switch out of or into. The stuff that we just really kind of were trying to figure out early in the season. Now we're a little bit better at all that stuff. I think we've simplified a lot of our defenses regardless of who's in there. And that has given us another, a chance to kind of get all on the same page quicker. So.
Over the course of this season with Carl and Rudy, what have you learned at this point in trying to make that work, especially on the offensive end of the floor, that maybe you didn't back in October or November?
Well, they continue to really like to play with each other, and you just got to I got to call more stuff that activates that partnership from time to time. And I think the other thing is like post spacing and doubling, I think Rudy had a bunch where he get right to the front of the rim and Cat can find him and just keep it simple. And, that was a dynamic we didn't necessarily have last year. We'd have to play to the perimeter and then move it again and drive it again. But now he can just kind of play big to big. So.
Chris, can you speak to what it means for this franchise to get to the playoffs back-to-back years for the first time in 19 years?
Yeah, I mean, we're certainly happy and proud. The season was a tough one in a lot of ways. We're happy for the fans. We're happy for our organization. We felt all season we were a playoff team, no matter what the circumstances were. Very pleased that the guys continue to fight through everything. really kind of never let go of the rope. And we want to try to build something up here, and it's, starts with consistently playing, for the most meaningful games, and those happen to be in the playoffs. It's good for our young players still to keep going through this. Every time you get to the playoffs, it's a learning experience. The defenses that you're going to feast, the game planning gets to another level. So all that stuff is invaluable. And for the franchise, hey, man, super excited to be here. Always have been. I don't really know what's gone on the previous 20 years, but, these guys here are very happy and proud to represent this organization.
Chris, you guys have turned to that empty side pick and roll with Mike and Rudy, and you talked earlier about guards being able to turn the corner and get that to the baseline. We saw that Cat got that and one from Nikhil off of that action.
Yeah.
Just how important is that, like you were talking about, just to be able to activate kind of everything and get everybody in that flow? Yeah,
when you have a guy certainly like Rudy rolling on a side, cleared side like that, it puts a lot of pressure on the defense. Those guys, we just, stole that from Utah. We're not reinventing the wheel here, but we just stole that from Utah. That's an action that was probably one of their most efficient ones, and they have a natural chemistry at it. And now we're, with Cat back, we're doing it more and more with different